It's International Free Agent Day, and the Red Sox are off to a really hot start. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Red Seat Radio. My name is Corbin. For those of you who may not know, today is a really important day on the MLB offseason calendar because today marks the opening of the international free agent pool for MLB teams. What this means is that MLB teams are now free to sign any international free agent prospects that they may see fit. For the Red Sox in the past, this has yielded really impressive results. Guys like Hanley Ramirez, Rafael Devers, Xander Bogaerts, Brian Bayo, Ceddanne Rafaela, and many more have been signed through this international free agent pool, and this year it looks as though the Red Sox are off to a hot start once again, signing multiple top 100 free agent prospects. So what we are going to do in today's video is we're going to break down these top prospects, talk about who they are, why the Red Sox signed them, and we're going to talk about overall what this is looking like for the Red Sox. But before we get into that, do me a favor, make sure you guys have hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. If you're new here, we talk Red Sox content almost every single day. Also, make sure you guys have hit the like button on this video as well. Helps these videos out a ton, and it would mean a lot to me. Thank you all very much for clicking on this one. Let's get into it. Okay, so here is the list of players that the Red Sox are currently in agreement to sign during the international free agent period at the time of this recording. Now, obviously, the international free agent signing period is pretty long. Plus, by the time you're watching this video, there's probably already a few more names added to this list. Now, there are a couple things I want to point out about this list before we get into our top guys. The first is that I use the word in agreement to. That's because essentially right now, the Red Sox have drafted these players. They haven't actually drafted them, but to put it in terms of Major League draft, they've drafted these guys, but they have not put pen to paper yet, right? They've agreed to sign them, but they have not written their name on any documents, so we don't know exact figures in terms of signing bonuses and stuff like that. But what we do know is who the Red Sox are in agreement with, and if we were going to cover every single one of these players, it would probably take about an hour, hour and a half with multiple part videos. So instead, what we are going to do is we're going to focus on the top players the Red Sox signed, who all happen to be in the top 100 class of Major League Baseball, with the highest ranking one being Valdimir Asencio, who is the 37th highest ranked prospect in the international pool right now. Asencio is an outfield prospect from the Dominican Republic who is just 17 years old, and many scouts think his most intriguing aspect of his game right now is his contact ability. He's one of the most difficult players to strike out in all of the Dominican Republic, and for 17, he is one of the best bat control aspects in the entire pool. He is still young and growing, so there are questions as to what his power will look like as he gets older. Right now, there isn't projected a ton. Obviously, this could change fairly quickly, right? He's still 17. He could gain power as he gets older, as he matures, as he grows within the game of Major League Baseball. But starting off with that really great plate approach puts him a bit of a step ahead of a lot of other prospects in this pool. He is also a solid defender with decent speed that could allow him the possibility of sticking in center field as he matures, but it is possible that as he grows, gets older, gets bigger, gets a bit slower, he ends up in a corner outfield spot at some point with the Boston Red Sox. Now, like I mentioned already, this is sort of the big fish for this team. He's going to get the highest signing bonus of the 2024 international pool for the Boston Red Sox. This is sort of the big prospect to pay attention to. Of course, as I'm recording this video and editing this video, Valdimir Asencio has officially signed with the Red Sox. It was for a $1 million bonus, and he's the first player the Red Sox have actually put pen to paper with, and is projected, again, still to be the top money getter for the Red Sox in this year's pool. But it doesn't mean there aren't any other fascinating players on this list. The second highest ranked player on this list for the Boston Red Sox who are in agreement to sign is Carlos Carrasquel, a third base prospect out of Venezuela. Carlos is currently the 54th highest ranked prospect in the top 100 prospect pool list right now, and a lot of that has to do with his size at 6'4" and his offensive potential. Carlos has a lot of really easy, raw, natural power that generates a really great bat speed that leads to a lot of high exit velos, and scouts are projecting that exit velo, that power potential, is only going to get better as he enters a major league system. Now, that doesn't mean he's lacking in the contact department at all. He still has pretty good bat control, but it's not up to par with his power right now. That is something the Red Sox are going to have to work on, and if they are able to improve his contact ability, he could be a really deadly force at the plate. Now, on the field, Carlos was originally slotted in as a shortstop, but because of his size, he was limited with his speed and his range, and it fits more in a third base profile than it is a shortstop profile, which is why his position was changed as the international pool went on. But he does have a really solid arm and is still projected to stick at third base as a fairly solid defender. That certainly isn't the most intriguing aspect of his game, but it's certainly not one to worry about yet at just 17 years old. The third highest ranked prospect on this list for the Red Sox was a prospect named Edwin Barreto out of the Dominican Republic, who is also an outfielder like Asencio. He is currently the 85th highest ranked prospect on the board right now. Like Carlos, Edwin has a lot of easy raw power from the right hand side. He has really great bat speeds, which could lead to some pretty impressive exit velos. Again, very similar to what Carlos has projected at. The difference here is that Edwin's contact ability is lacking a little bit. Right now, scouts are projecting him as a much more power forward hitter than a contact type hitter in Major League Baseball. But again, you're talking about a 17-year-old prospect. There's plenty of time for the Red Sox to work with him on plate approach, bat control, all that good stuff as he gets older and matures within the Red Sox system. So I wouldn't start worrying about this pick just yet. There's definitely a ton of potential there for him to put it all together and be a really deadly offensive weapon. He isn't super fast and has a solid arm, so he doesn't project so much as a center fielder on the defensive side of things. He mostly projects as a corner outfielder. In terms of the fourth highest ranked prospect for the Red Sox, we have our first pitcher on this list, a player by the name of Delvinson Reyes, who is a right-handed pitcher, again out of the Dominican Republic, and he is currently the 89th highest ranked prospect in the international free agent pool. Reyes is a really big presence on the mound. He's already 6'5" and 190 pounds. He has really solid, easy, fluid mechanics, which is a really good thing. It's not super jerky. It's not all over the place. He's pretty consistent with his mechanics, which leads to a fastball topping out around 92 miles an hour right now, which scouts predict is going to get much faster again as he matures, as he grows, as he gets stronger, and as he works with a major league system's pitching coaches and stuff like that. He could end up having some pretty good velo, which would be great considering he can pair that with his pretty nasty changeup and his curveball as well. Sorry for the lack of video on this one. And as we get towards the sort of bottom top 100 guys, it's going to be more difficult to find some actual video footage of them. Either way, I wanted to stop and break in here because it was official that he signed for a $450,000 signing bonus with the Boston Red Sox. Just want to put that in there so you guys have the information. Now, this is the only pitcher on the Red Sox top 100 list, guys who have made the top 100 list, but he's not the only pitcher the Red Sox are in agreement to sign. They do have an agreement with a couple other pitchers as well, and my guess is that this is going to only grow as the day goes on. And finally, the last player in the top 100 list for the Boston Red Sox is a guy by the name of Anderson Furman, who is the 99th highest ranked prospect in this year's pool. He is a shortstop and a center fielder out of the Dominican Republic. Furman is super athletic. He has the potential to hit all 5 tools at an average level or better. His big thing right now is he's got really plus speed, which really helps him in defensively at both shortstop and center field. He also has a really solid swing from both sides of the plate. This is our only switch hitter on this list, which is a pretty interesting note. I honestly don't remember the last time the Red Sox had a switch hitting prospect. It's been a little bit, and they're getting pretty rare in Major League Baseball, so it's pretty cool to see that he is a switch hitter. Right now, he doesn't have a ton of power, but he could still hit gap to gap, and again, he's a solid defender that scouts believe could easily slot in at both center field or shortstop as he matures in Major League Baseball. This is a really high ceiling type prospect, but a bit of a low floor as well because of the fact that his contact ability and his power ability are lacking a bit behind his speed and his defensive projections. That doesn't mean that things can't change. Sorry for another interruption here. Maybe I should have just waited until these figures actually came out and released this video later in the day. Oh well, live and learn. Either way, Anderson also did officially sign with the Red Sox. He signed a deal for a signing bonus of $400,000. Another just, hey, want to get this out there, make sure you guys know it. overall, when we're looking at the top 5 prospects that the Red Sox were able to sign, I really like this class. I think there's a really great mix of talent in here. And yes, the Red Sox didn't get anyone in the top 25 or one of the best prospects on this list. But again, these guys are 17 years old. They're fascinating to see them ranked out, but things could change in the blink of an eye. Your number 1 prospect could end up being nothing. The number 102,000 prospect could end up being the one who makes a real difference. So don't put a ton of stock into where these prospects rank at this moment. But I will say it is pretty impressive that the Red Sox are probably going to have one of the top 5 most top 100 prospects signed by the time this is all said and done. And I think that's a really cool thing to say. One thing that I did want to highlight that I sort of highlighted when we were talking about the one pitcher on this list is the fact that there are more pitchers than just this one. I know every year when we talk about these signings or any prospects things or anything, it's all about pitching, and I get that, but there are definitely some pitchers on this list to pay attention to, and those pitching numbers are only going to grow as, again, we get more information and more players are in agreement to sign or actually sign with the Red Sox. So I think it's a pretty solid mix. You got a pretty decent amount of outfielders. 3 of the top 5 prospects the Red Sox signed have the potential to be outfielders, which is something the Red Sox have been missing a little bit. Right now, you've got, say, Don Rafaela, Roman Anthony, and possibly Miguel Blaze in your system as sort of potential everyday outfielders. But outside of that, you don't have a ton of everyday outfield potential. So it's cool to see them go after an area of need. You've got the sort of possible infielders as well, with the last one being a possible shortstop or center fielder, and then obviously Carlos Carrasquel, who is projected to be a third baseman as well. So there's a nice little mix in here. You didn't really truly focus on one certain aspect. You spread out the wealth a little bit. I think that's a really solid idea for the Red Sox, who again have been mainly focused on middle infield prospects and infield prospects in general over the last couple of years. So I really like what the Red Sox have been doing so far. I think who they got and who they are in agreement to sign could be really fun to talk about. We obviously won't know how well they did in this 2024 international free agent signing period for a couple of years. Again, these guys are 17, maybe 18. We probably won't hear much about them over the next couple of years until we get to 27, 28, in that area where they start to break into the league. Maybe some of them come up faster, maybe some of them come up slower, but we're not going to know how well the Red Sox really do until a few years down the line. Either way, again, this is a really important aspect of the offseason. I think it's overlooked a little bit because of how far away these players are from actually making their debut, but some of the best players in Major League Baseball came via this route. Ronald Acuna, Juan Soto, Julio Rodriguez, Rafael Devers, right? They all came from this international free agent pool, so it's important to note at the bare minimum who the Red Sox have signed and who to keep an eye on over the next few years. And in my opinion, I love this kind of stuff. It's absolutely fascinating, but that's just my opinion. So let me know in the comment section down below, what do you think of the top guys the Red Sox are in agreement to sign? Do you like them? Do you not like them? Do you think the Red Sox did well with their mix? Do you think they should have focused on other areas? What do you think about the Red Sox top international free agent pool signings in the comment section down below? As always, if you made it to the end of this video, do me a favor. Make sure you guys have hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. If you're new here, we talk Red Sox content almost every single day. Also, make sure you guys have hit the like button on this video as well. Helps these videos out a ton, and it would mean a lot to me. Thank you all very much for clicking on this one, and I will see you in the red seats.